Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you've been having a good summer so far. And if you're new here, my name's Clinton Jones, also known as the pwnisher. And for the last 5+ years, we've been doing these 3D community challenges. You may have seen them, the top 100 montages of everyone's cool art with custom music. They're a lot of fun to watch and even more fun to participate in. And if you've been looking to join one of these challenges, then start your engines because it's time for our 11th 3D challenge, the Rampage Rally, where we're challenging you to build out this provided template and send your vehicle of choice off a sweet jump by August 31st. It doesn't matter what program you use or how long you've been using it. This challenge is for everyone looking to learn, level up, and grow alongside a community of like-minded visual artists. So what can you make in this challenge? Well, as long as you use the template, honestly, whatever you can think of. Like a record-breaking monster truck jump. What about a motorcycle clearing a drawbridge just as it opens up over choppy waters? What about a runaway train that jumps an underground volcano? Or like a buff robot riding a buff horse as it jumps off a cliff to avoid an army of super intelligent worms. Look, if you can think it, you can create it. The goal here is for your render to flow into the next so we can build the largest big air 3D art montage this side of the net. So we've prepared the following rules to guide you in the right direction. You'll want to first replace the provided vehicle proxy with your own vehicle. Second, you'll need to jump the provided gap. Third, you need to maintain the sense of speed and direction, and finally, use the provided camera. I'll get into the details on all these rules later. But for the artists who are putting pedal to the metal this month and gunning for a glorious place in the curated top 100 artist montage, winning a bunch of prizes from our list of sponsors, and going on to be considered for the top 5 Rampage Rally champions, then listen up, because here's what we're looking for in a winning render. We'll be looking for renders that can first and foremost tell a story. The template is only 6 seconds long, which granted is not a lot of time for story, but it's very possible to weave in and a crucial component for winning renders. Next, we're looking for lighting and render quality. Usually great lighting is what makes me stop and watch a render over and over. We like looking at well-lit things. It's a huge factor in making your art look professional. And same for quality, don't just denoise a noisy render. You can always tell. Animation is another category we'll be looking for. Great animation can often go unseen because things just look and feel right. However, the opposite is true. We've seen one too many great pieces of art fall flat due to janky animation. We're also looking for good composition. How well do all of your elements play together visually? How do your shapes flow into each other? And how are you using them to guide my eye to what's important in your scene? And the last and maybe most important piece to a winning render is its ability to follow the rules. Again, more on that in a second. How you combine all of these elements to craft your unique render is up to you this month. So build something that plays to your strengths, doesn't depend on your weaknesses, and is actually accomplishable by the deadline of Sunday, August 31st at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. For our guest judges this time, we'll be joined by a YouTube veteran who's been posting VFX shorts since 2010. Coming all the way from India, let's welcome Raghav from Shutter Authority to the 3D challenges. And these challenges wouldn't be the same without our next judge. He won first place in our very first challenge back in 2020 and has the highest rank on our Discord server for weeklies. You guessed it, Visual is coming back for Rally Rampage. And the last of the guests here, we are teaming up with my favorite video game DJ on YouTube. He's curated and performed top shelf mixes for Ape Escape, Bomberman, and Tekken, and crafted the best retro PlayStation mixes on the net. Coming all the way from Brazil, let's give a warm welcome to DDCo, who's cooking up an 11-minute track for the top 100 montage. So let's get you started. The Rampage Rally site is where you'll find any and all challenge related info. Go there to download the starter files, grab all the free for the month assets, brush up on the rules and FAQs, and download the challenge calendar. So for the starter files, we got Blender, Unreal Engine, Cinema 4D, Maya, and FBX of course for artists using Max, Houdini, or whatever else. Once you open the scene files, you'll notice the essentials are already set up. We have a pre-animated camera move with a preset focal length, a vehicle proxy that you'll replace with your vehicle of choice, and a ramp that you'll incorporate into your idea. The project file itself has a locked frame count of 144 frames. No more, no less. It's also 24 frames per second and has a locked resolution of 1920 by 810. You can double check all these settings in the tech specs section here on the site. It's important you don't change these things because they're here to make sure all the renders flow into each other in the final montages and guarantee you don't get DQ'd. After downloading the starter files, you'll want to download the free for the month assets. They're not required, but a huge help along the way because these are full program unlocks with no strings attached. This time around, we have Marvelous Designer free for everybody. And you'd be saying, hey Clint, isn't this a vehicle challenge? Yeah, it's a vehicle challenge, but Marvelous is a cloth sim software. You can use it for more than just clothes. Anything from flags, tarps, soft body physics, ribbon, cable, you name it. And the person who uses Marvelous Designer in the most creative and out-of-the-box way wins the Marvelous Award, which is $500 in your pocket and a spotlight feature from the Marvelous Designer team. Joining us for their first challenge, let's welcome the Gnomon Workshop. The Gnomon Workshop is a VFX and 3D school that has been around since 1995, and their VFX and 3D courses are taught by the pros, the people who worked on Star Wars, Star Trek, Alien, Love, Death and Robots, God of War, Avatar, The Last of Us, and Uncharted, to name a few. It's honestly a goldmine of high quality curated tutorials, and they're hooking you guys up with a free course on vehicle modeling techniques, which will surely come in handy for anyone out there attempting to create your own vehicle from scratch this month. From Jenga Effects, they're unlocking their entire Elemental suite free of charge. It's made up of EmberGen, a real-time volumetric fluid sim software for creating fire, smoke, explosions, and all that other cool stuff. LiquidGen for real-time liquid sims, GeoGen for procedural environments, and their latest creation, IlluGen, their new super weapon for creating procedural VFX assets. It seamlessly marries 2D and 3D workflows and condenses VFX asset creation into one tool. And finally, we got Fox Render Farm, who's back to open up their cloud servers for any artist that needs some remote render power this month when it comes time to submit your art. You can grab a $50 render coupon using the code FOXRENDER and another $25 for new registrants. All right, y'all, let's pause and take a minute here to talk about these rules and FAQs, because every time we launch a challenge, people always ask which idea is okay, which idea isn't, and which one will get them DQ'd from the montages. We try to design these rules as black and white as possible, but the reality is there's some gray, and some artists lean into the gray and pull it off, others get lost. The main thing you want to ask yourself is, will my idea flow visually with everyone else's in the montage? While there's no way we can answer every single question, we can arm you with the knowledge to answer those questions yourself. So let's break down the first 4 rules together. Now, the first rule is pretty straightforward. The bad example on the left clearly is not replacing the vehicle proxy, but sticking their vehicle next to it. It's not in the same place, and it breaks the flow of the montage. The example on the right is moving around the proxy, but it's starting in the right place, ending in the right place, and using the vehicle proxy as a reference point for where the vehicle's at through the entire shot. This is a good example of bending the rules. Rule number 2, we essentially want everyone's airtime to be relatively the same. The example on the left is technically jumping a gap, yes, but it's not the size of the provided gap, thus breaking the flow of the montage. The example on the right, however, isn't technically jumping a gap because it's an airplane, but it has the feeling of airtime. You're gonna have a lot of people jumping a literal gap in their render, like the template above, which is gonna look awesome. Other people will have ideas that are outside of the box. The important thing regarding the jump here is that you must maintain the feeling of jumping a gap and use the template as a guide for your perceived airtime. Third, for speed and direction, the example on the left doesn't maintain the sense of speed, even though it's moving super fast. It appears to be immobile due to the lack of reference objects in the scene. I mean, it's why we're adding the checkerboard texture to the template render above, so you can feel the speed of the thing. Now, the example on the right is playing with direction. The car is pointing backwards, but it's driving in the correct direction. Now, this one has been called "Don't Touch the Camera" in the past because it's one of the most important elements responsible for gluing all of our renders together in the montages. As soon as you point the camera over here, over there, change the focal length, etc., it's just a different shot from a different challenge and completely breaks the flow of the montages. So don't do it. The example on the right, though, uses the template camera, but it's just adding some camera shake and motion blur, all the little things that add to a render but don't inherently change the camera angle. If you have any more questions about the rules, the template, or the challenge in general, I'll be live streaming right after the launch of this video and helping everyone get on the right track. I'll be doing challenge dedicated streams every Friday this month at 10:45 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and all the other important release dates like the montages, the judging stream, and the submission links will be here on the site as well. You can even download a Google Calendar file if you're trying to go super hard. But it's time to talk about these prizes. All right, so if your render gets into the top 100 montage, you're walking away with a handful of cool stuff. First up, from Marvelous Designer, you're gonna get 2 months of their glorious software to help you not only design clothes for any of your characters, but simulate any number of cloth sims for your future projects. The Gnomon Workshop is gonna give you a 1-month subscription to their 300+ workshops taught by their 200+ professional artists. Jenga Effects is gonna hook you up with their entire Elemental suite for 2 months, and Fox Render Farm is gonna give you a $100 render coupon so you can cloud render any project you'd like. And finally, Kaft, the Turkish design brand, is gonna give you 1 t-shirt of your choosing. Now, what t-shirt would you choose? I don't know. Maybe this sweet one from our last challenge, Chasm's Call. You might actually recognize this little robot guy. He's designed by artist Yuren Singh and has been entering our challenges since Endless Engines, I believe. So it's cool to see him immortalized on a t-shirt. You can grab one now if you want, link down in the description. And more on how you can get your art turned into a t-shirt at the end of this video. So that does it for the top 100. But what if your art comes into any of the top 5 spots? Marvelous Designer is giving you 1 year to their software. The Gnomon Workshop is giving you a year as well. From Jenga FX, the Elemental Suite just permanent, forever. And if you've had it before, you're gonna get another year of maintenance. You're gonna get Rococo Pro for 1 year, which gives you access to Rococo Vision, their suitless motion capture solution. Which reminds me, though this is a vehicle challenge, yes, of course there'll still be characters in this thing. Rococo Studio has a free motion capture library that you can tap into, and Rococo Vision for suitless motion capture is free if you're just using the 1 camera option. And finally, Kaft is gonna give you $250 toward anything on their site. That's shirts, jackets, pants, bags, beanies, you name it. And here's where we get into some specific prizes here. From XP Pen, you'll be winning a Deco Pro Gen 2 drawing tablet, and you get to choose the size of your choice. I love their tablets because it's not only good for your long-term wrist health as a working artist, but also just gives you a ton more control over what you're doing on your computer, whether that's drawing, browsing the web, or I don't know, I guess the only thing I don't use it for is like first-person shooters, but that would actually be pretty wild. And finally, Fox Render Farm is giving the 5th place artist $400 and the 4th place artist $500 toward their cloud rendering service. All right, from 3rd and up, it's just gonna get crazier and crazier. You're gonna get from Rococo a choice between their head rig for iOS or their head cam for Android, which captures your facial performance up to 60 FPS, which will save you a ton of time when animating your 3D characters. XP Pen is upping the ante and giving you their Artist Pro 16 Gen 2 drawing display. It's got a beautiful color accurate screen, 16,000 levels of pen pressure, and unlocks your creativity with a 2.5K display. And finally, for 3rd, Fox Render Farm is giving you $600 toward their cloud rendering service. If your art comes in 2nd place, Rococo is going to give you a pair of their smart gloves for all of your hand and finger tracking needs, as well as your choice between their head rig or head cam. XP Pen is upping it again to their Artist Pro 19 Gen 2 drawing display for a whopping 4K resolution, a color accurate display, and of course you know about them 16,000 levels of pen pressure goodness. And finally, from Fox Render Farm, you know it, $700 toward their cloud rendering service for all of your future projects. And if your art comes in 1st place, Rococo is back, giving you a full performance capture bundle, which comes with their Smart Suit Pro 2, the smart gloves, the head rig or head cam. You're also getting a Coil Pro, which acts as a ground truth piece of hardware for all of your hardware-based motion capture projects. XP Pen is giving you the mothership of all displays. It's their Artist 24 Pro Gen 2 drawing display. This thing comes out with a crisp 165 Hz, 2.5K color accurate display. These drawing displays are top of the line and will bring your illustrations and 3D art to the next level. And from Fox Render Farm, you're getting an $800 render coupon for all of your cloud rendering needs. All right, so let's talk about how to get your art on a t-shirt here. So Kaft is gonna choose one of the top 100 artists to receive $1,000 and have their Rampage Rally art turned into a custom t-shirt. It'll be the third time they offer this prize. The second you're seeing here, the first we did for Kinetic Rush. So I'm excited to see what I'll be wearing in our 12th challenge announcement video. Let's be honest, it's rare to have surprise prizes on these challenges because our sponsors are very dedicated every time we do these things. But this next one is a first for all of us. It's an honor to welcome Puget Systems, makers of the finest VFX and 3D workstations money can buy, to these challenges. And they'll be raffling off one of their top of the line mobile workstations to any US or Canadian based artist who submits a render for Rampage Rally. And lastly, you guys know from Marvelous, they're offering $500 toward the best out of the box use of Marvelous Designer, and you'll receive a handful of feature spotlights across all of their main channels. So what do you got to lose? Let's learn and grow together. Tell your friends. I'll see you on our Discord server. It's free. We got a lot of like-minded artists up in there. It's a good time. And I'm live streaming right now, answering all of your questions, taking a look at the template together, talking about the rules, and I'll make sure you get started on the right foot. Rampage Rally, let's go.